ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। 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 ॐ ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम। We will chant the initial mantras. ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राद्याः पारिषद्याः परशतं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णायाक्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे। वैशम्पायनो जयमेजयमुवाच श्रुत्वा धर्मानशेषेण पावनानि च सर्वशः युधिष्ठिरः शान्तनवं पुनरेवाभ्यभाषत। Yesterday, the various types of dharma was enlisted, and we also started discussing on the first one, Samanya Dharma. We referred to this shloka yesterday, which indicates Samanya Dharma. Kshama Satyam Dama Shaucham Danamindriya Sanyamaha Ahimsa Guru Shushrusha Tirthanusaranam Daya Arjavam Lobhashunyatvam Deva Brahmana Pujanam Anabhyasuya cha tatha Dharma Samanya Uchyate. And there we were discussing on these four yesterday: Kshama, Satyam, Damaha, Shaucham. Continuing further, Danam, charity. Remember, these are all Samanya Dharma. Dharma is that which we have to follow. Here, Danam, charity. What is this charity? Very many people think to donate to the poor becomes charity. It is also charity. It is one of the many charities. Charity need not be only financial. Charity can be in the form of physical seva, helping others. Charity can be emotional support, also in a manner of saying. But by and large, charity has been considered as offering our mite of monetary in terms of money or kind in terms of goods to the needy. Now this is very, very important. Why? Because now look at the truth behind requirement to give. To whom do we give? To those people who are deprived of those facilities. People who cannot afford. People who don't have that circumstances or do not have that kind of a, facilities. There are people who don't have 2 meals a day to eat, leave alone 3. People don't have even 1 meal in many cases. Therefore, what happens? When my stomach, Param Puja Gurudev very beautifully would say, when the Madhya Pradesh is empty, Uttar Pradesh will not work. Think. When I am hungry, nothing else will matter. Again, to use Param Puja Gurudev's words, cut or loot or murder or plunder, let me fill up my belly. This will be the only dharma for him. Then what happens? When the right means do not provide the basic needs of a person, he steps forward to get it in the wrong means. When I am unable to gain money for my basic needs, food, clothing, shelter, then I will also want to ask. But when people also don't support, then what happens? Then somehow I have to get money, I have to fill my stomach, I have to survive, I have to cater to my family. Therefore, I step into wrong means to gain that basic needs. Why does that happen? Because the privileged lot do not support the unprivileged lot. Then what happens? Now, next step is when he gets into wrong means. And more often than not, first few times they are very careful, therefore they are almost successful. In what? In gaining money, in gaining what they want through wrong means. But remember, they started it out of need for basic needs. When they become successful, then what happens? They get the idea, why should I suffer? Why should I work? I am getting just like that. I am getting, what is that called? Quick money. And then what happens? He sets behind all the norms. He sets behind all the dharmic way of earning and moves forward in gaining the quick money. When the quick money is again successful, his greed starts. Why? Basic needs are taken care. And then desires erupt. From need, it graduates to want, and from want, it graduates further to desperate want of luxury. Born out of what? Out of wrong means, adharmic way of gaining. Where did it all start? When he did not gain, he was not able to earn 2 square meals or the basic needs. Now, the privileged lot, when they do not share with the unprivileged get into wrong means, and that is how the society gets contaminated and there is corruption everywhere. Now, everything we all know. Think. Therefore, dhanam one has to give. And by giving, I also protect his needs, take care of his needs and protecting him from getting into wrong deeds. Therefore, one has to give. Second point is, when I hoard, please note, whatever we require, Bhagavan will give. As it is always said, and I always quote, there is enough for every man's need, but there is not enough for one man's greed. A great quote. Now, when the greed starts, then hoarding starts. Acquiring, possessing, indulging, embracing, enjoying all the pleasures of life. When it begins, nothing becomes enough. Therefore, I who have got lot of things, more and more and more, then I will want again more and more and more. Therefore, the greed which is there in my bosom now will not allow me to work in the dharmic way. Therefore, I have to part with the excesses what I have to the people who are in need. Excessive money, excessive things. Most of our things are anavashyaka. But then many people have got that fancy of hoarding. Therefore, dhanam is a very beautiful value whereby I give. When I give, two things. One, I reduce the quality of my thinking of acquiring more. Two, I gain the joy of giving to the needy. Right? Therefore, very, very important quality. Greed disturbs the mind. Charity brings in joy to the mind. And a joyful mind is very important for proceeding further in our sadhana, proceeding further in our attempt to gain the supreme. Therefore, one must offer. How you offer, in what fashion you offer, to whom you offer is again secondary. Offering means being ready to give. Gurudev would say, give, give, give it away. Why? When that cannot decide my happiness, it is no more required for me. And happiness cannot be gained through things and beings. Happiness is an internal factor which we will see later. Therefore, money by itself cannot give happiness. Why? Even though I have got more and more, the greed wants me to gain much more. When I say greed wants me to gain much more, whatever I have gained has not given me the completeness, has not given me that complete happiness, that it has not given me that contentment. Therefore, I want. When whatever I have cannot give me that contentment, then it is not worthy to be with me. Therefore, give it away. When I give it away, Shanti. Think. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Yoga and Kshema. These are the only two things which can disturb me. What is that? Gaining and maintenance. Maintaining Kshema is a very big affair in the world. Think. Therefore, give it away. Then comes Indriya Sanyamaha. Earlier we saw Damaha, the third one here, mastery over the senses. Indriya Sanyamaha, therefore, since Damaha is already given there, we may contextually take it as Shamaha. And what is Shamaha? Mastery over our own mind. Mind is the culprit. If I can master my mind, what do I mean by master my mind? My mind should obey me and I should not become a slave to the mind. Today, our condition is we are all slaves of our mind. Therefore, that should change. I take control of my mind and I gain the control. To what extent? The Indriyas must obey my command. Therefore, control of the mind, otherwise mastery of the mind, is extremely important for the mind to be calm and quiet. Otherwise, mind will be very agitated. I want. All these are what? Nothing but agitations. When I have what is called as contentment, Santushtaha Satatam Yogi, it is said. Santushtaha, the one is content. Vidhivashat praptena santushyatam. Acharya Shankara says in Sadhana Panchakam. Now, when I gain that santushtata, then I have control of my mind. Why? Mind will not run behind things and beings. I am fine. I am happy. Therefore, once my mind is happy, mind is content, I no more want anything, such a mind is undisturbed mind, unagitated mind. Such a mind is very important for sadhana. And such a calm mind will not get into a dharmic way of living. It is fine. Therefore, it will definitely follow a dharmic, not adharmic, a dharmic way of life. Ahimsa. Ahimsa is what? Non-injury. Kayena Vacha Manasa. Kaya Vacha Manasa, I should not hurt others. Now here the doubt comes. Swamiji, I don't want to hurt them. What if they get hurt? that is their problem. Not getting hurt is their problem. Why? Because we cannot control their mind. Though we try to control everybody's mind in the world. Isn't it? Worst thing to do is trying to control others. Never do it. At the same time, I can be clear, I can find myself in such a position that I don't make attempts to hurt somebody. I don't be unintelligent in bringing pain to somebody. Physically, kaya, verbally, vacha, even in my thinking, I should not be hurting anybody. Now, this is very idealistic. The moment we say it is idealistic, it doesn't mean that we can get away with it. No. To the extent possible, if I only look for the good of others, again, that will bring goodness to others, that will bring comfort to others, no doubt, but at the same time, it will keep me happy. It will keep me wonderful. In fact, our mind is such a beautiful equipment, but we have contaminated with all the vices in us. If we can slowly change over, turn our mind towards the higher Bhagavan, the same mind will provide goodness to me and to others. Therefore, ahimsa, non-injury. I should not hurt anybody. And this is my dharma. Very simple. The way I want others not to hurt me, I should also not be hurting others. Is it not? I don't want anybody to hurt me, but if I go on hurting others, then it is adharma. Right? Last point. From my side, I should be clear. I don't have to worry about other person, whether he gets hurt. You are getting hurt? Oh, sorry. Then if I go on thinking about others' mind, then I will become miserable. Therefore, I don't have to worry about other people's way of thinking. I don't have to worry about whether other people got hurt or did not get hurt. But I should make sure that my way of life does not provide disturbance to others. If over and above that, if they get hurt, then they have to handle their own mind. We cannot handle other people's mind. Each one have to handle one's own mind, please. If I get hurt for at the drop of the hat for everything, then I have to suffer myself. But if I equip my mind in such a fashion that I don't get hurt because of others, then I will also be able to mind myself. I will also be able to mold myself. I will also be able to be clear in my thinking to the best possible extent. Inadvertently, if it happens, it is a different thing. But voluntarily, I should not be hurting anybody, any Jiva Rashi. Now, don't sit there and think about mosquitoes. It is not a topic for discussion at all. The idea is, to the extent possible, I should not disturb others. Alright, ahimsa. Guru Shushrusha, service to the preceptor. What is this service to the preceptor? This is again royally misunderstood. Service to the preceptor has got three ways: physical, emotional, and intellectual, as always. Physical service is not to bring luxury to the Guru, but bring in basic need, basic conveniences so that the Guru is able to work. Emotionally, I do not get attached to the Guru, but I shower all my loving devotion at the feet of the Guru and serve him with love, with devotion, with a sense of bhavana, by taking care of the basic needs of the Guru. It is very important. This service is very important. It is not, please note very clearly, it is not that the Guru wants luxury. He doesn't want anything. Guru does not want any fanciful things or luxurious things, etc., etc. He doesn't want anything for that matter. If nothing is there, he is ready to sleep on the floor. Still he will be happy. Because there is no demand. But by providing, offering my seva to the Guru, I enjoy that good, noble, pure relationship with the Guru, and at the same time, in that joy of serving, I also receive knowledge. Therefore, seva has to be done emotionally. We need to get associated with the preceptor, teacher. Intellectual seva is the highest. What do you mean by intellectual seva? Here the seva is not giving instructions to the Guru. Many people do. But receiving the right knowledge from the Guru and understanding it in the right way. Very many times, very many places, in so many institutions, the right knowledge is not understood. We try to understand the Guru from our own standpoint, not from the Shastra standpoint or the Guru's standpoint. So what is the intellectual seva here? Intellectual seva is, I don't bring my ego in front of it, in front of the seva. I don't bring my ahankara there. I don't insist upon what the Guru has to do, but I become humble, I become simple, I become completely surrendered at the feet of the Guru. Guru totally, unquestionable surrender. What do you mean by unquestionable surrender? A surrender where I don't question the knowledge of the Guru, but I question my limitations in understanding the thoughts that are given by the Guru. Think. These are very important. So, kaya, vacha, manasa, I offer my service to the Guru. Physical service, important. Emotional service, important. Intellectual service, important. When I bring all these three together and serve the preceptor, I gain the greatest of all, knowledge. Therefore, I must serve the Guru. Guru Shushrusha. Take care of the Guru. Again, it is not that, oh, I'll take care of the Guru. Swamiji, I will bring you this, I will bring you that. And then you do seva, but if you stop it there, then it is not seva. Not only performing the real need, the work for the Guru or the ashram, but at the same time, that seva must purify my mind, and with that purified mind, I must gain the knowledge of the Supreme. If it does not graduate to that level, our seva will be futile. Therefore, perform seva, and the greatest seva is when I gain the knowledge and apply it in my life. Guru Shushrusha. Tirthanusaranam. Tirthanusaranam is what? Taking up pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is a dharma, please. For a common man, one has to go to the pilgrimage. Why? We are always in the boundary of our own cozy living. We make everything, we set up everything to live a cozy life, comfortable life, joyful life. And the mind gets addicted to comforts. When the mind gets addicted to comfort, the mind cannot grow. Pilgrimage is a beautiful sadhana where lot of external conditionings disturbs as though our comfort seeking. So many times the travel will not be comfortable. Even though you may travel by flight, still it need not be comfortable. Train, buses, there are so many places where there are no airports, you have to go by train. There are so many places where railway station may not be there, you may have to go by bus. And in certain places you have to walk. Earlier days, Char Dham Yatra is only by walk. Today all the helicopters and everything government has provided for elderly people who cannot walk. But hale and healthy people take that. Why? Comfort. When comfort becomes important, our mind cannot march forward in sadhana. That does not mean that we have to make everything uncomfortable. No. Don't make it uncomfortable, but when discomfort comes to me, how am I going to handle them? How is my mind reacting towards that situation? When mind gets dejected, mind gets disturbed, mind gets frustrated, when there is fatigue, such a disturbed mind cannot gain the supreme knowledge. Pilgrimage is a beautiful sadhana where, come what may, I accept it. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam Chinta vilaparahitam satitiksha nigadyate, says Shruti. Sahanam, accepting everything as it comes. Sarva dukkhanam. All dukkha. Dukkha is what? Discomfort. Apratikara purvakam. Not retaliating, not shouting, not lamenting, not, shouting at others, scolding the government. No. Those are all wrong practices. Those are not dharmic way of responding to situations. When I thus, while going to the on pilgrimage, while I am on pilgrimage, if I am able to endure, forbear all the pinpricks of life, then my mind is set for not getting disturbed by anything. And this is very important. This is also a part of dharma. According to Shastra, it is a dharma. Each one of us must take up pilgrimage and observe the mind. Pilgrimage is not a picnic. Pilgrimage is not a retreat for, fun and frolics. Pilgrimage is a beautiful sadhana, observing our own mind, please. At every stage, at every step, develop the habit of observing the reactions of the mind and the responses of the mind. Tirtha anusaranam, I go with it. Whatever happens, whatever comfort or discomfort, accept it and move forward. Daya. Daya is what? Compassion. There are two words. One is sympathy, another one is empathy. Sympathy is feeling bad for the others who are suffering. There, others are suffering, I am not. Therefore, I have sympathy towards them and I offer my services. Sympathy. Empathy is not seeing the negative aspect of it, but empathy is love towards everyone in spite of any kind of condition. The empathy must transport our mind towards everybody equally and work towards everybody's good. This empathy is nothing but love expressed as service. When love expressed as service can bring comfort to others, the truth is it brings double the comfort to me and my mind is joyful. Mind is happy. More and more mind is joyful. More and more mind is happy. More and more mind becomes or entertains love for others, expecting nothing, demanding nothing, asking nothing, anticipating nothing. Think. Love for love's sake. Today love is very badly understood, poorly understood, wrongly understood. But this love is our true nature. The love which we see are sentiments, whereas this compassion, love is our inner nature, emotions. Develop emotions and reduce sentiments. Then you will find one by nature is compassionate to everything and everybody. And that beautiful feeling reduces agitations in my mind. When I am compassionate with someone, my mind is joyful. It spreads the aroma of beautiful fragrance of love. That one must develop. This is possible very much to human beings. How interesting. We have so much of love for animals, isn't it? And animals also respond so beautifully. But the difference, animals respond without expecting anything. Pure love. Pure love. But human mind is so dirty, it only expects from everyone. Everyone thinks nobody understands me. How much have we understood others? Think. Therefore, compassion is nothing but pure love expressed with others, anticipating nothing. Alright, there is so much which can be talked about compassion that is never ending. Therefore, I proceed further. Arjavam. Arjavam is what? Straightforwardness. This is a very difficult value. It is so difficult. Why? We always are expecting. We always are afraid of. We always think differently from what can be the truth. The mind always is planning, scheming. For what? To gain the maximum from the world. How much are we straightforward? It's a very beautiful value. One must develop that. Lobha shunyatvam. absence of greed. This we have discussed a little while earlier when we talked about dhanam, giving. The more I give, the less I am disturbed. Think. The more I give it away, the less I have worries. Therefore, one must not develop greed of acquiring, possessing, enjoying, indulging, hoarding. Oh, Swamiji, 12, 20 years later, I will be I might be in a bad situation. Therefore, I will accumulate some money. Little is required. It is not greed. It is being safe. Definitely, at old age to take care, one must not hoard, but one must save. Saving is different, hoarding is different. Saving is different, accumulation is different. Please note, the more and more I accumulate, the more and more greed alone will come. So whatever is required may be plus 10% or 20%. But beyond that, give it away. There is a very beautiful Hindi song. It's a movie song. I often quote that. Only one line. Other things I am not interested. Only one line. खाली हाथ आए हम खाली हाथ जाएंगे. I heard this somewhere. Very beautiful statement. खाली हाथ आए हम खाली हाथ जाएंगे. Even if you hold, they will cut your hand just to take it away and then bury you. Think. Nothing you can carry, nothing you came, not even with a loincloth you came. What are we hoarding for? What are we accumulating? What are we saving? For whom? Oh, for my next generation. That is their business to make themselves comfort. Oh, I am saving for my son. Why can't he work? Is he such a somberi? Then you are doing a wrong thing, please. Elders, please listen to this very carefully. Don't accumulate, don't save, don't hoard for the sake of next generation. You are spoiling them. Why? Because of the wealth, they develop so much of greed, so much of wrong thinking, and they will never work for themselves or their family. Please don't do this. Let them work. Allow them to experience the pinpricks of life. Allow them to handle their own situations. And today, because of such irresponsible parents, I underline, because of such irresponsible parents who accumulate for the sake of the next generation, for the sake of the third generation, you have spoiled the society at large. Think. I am not against them. I am against the attitude that I have to hoard it, I have to accumulate, I have to build for what? For my next generation. Aren't you spoiling them? Show them the way how to earn and how to give. How to earn, show them, make them intelligent. Give them the knowledge. Yes, important. Educate them. Important. Once they are educated, allow them to handle themselves. Then the society will become strong. Why? Each individual becomes strong. Think. When I develop so much for the sake of the others, they have got easy money and the mind will become more and more greedy. To what extent? To the extent of killing somebody to gain properties, to gain bank balances. Think. Aren't we spoiling them? They become a cancer in the society because they have not earned money, hard earned money. Think. Easy money. Please don't do it. Neither I should become greedy, nor I should make my next generations greedy. Keep little for them, okay, but let them earn their living. Think. Very important. And then Deva Brahmana Pujanam. Again, it's a very, very important topic. We will take it up tomorrow. All right. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om